They're all facing about the same way. That's cute. I think the crocuses are getting about finished up here. Some of them are starting to flop over. Almost all the daffodils in this row are open. But anyone who's been here for a minute knows that I have a bazillion varieties of daffodils. There's some more over there. They are a different variety than this. These actually came up earlier than those. Interestingly, that one with the stick coming out is the same variety as this. It's how much sun they get, apparently, that makes the difference. That's been my take home anyway, from moving them around and timing them and such. And then it gets crazy back here again. Look at this. Isn't that great? They're so freaking cute. Even these little white and cream tone ones are starting to pop open too. There's a bunch more of those back there. The neighbor's got a few. There's some here that, again, get more shade, so they're a little bit behind. So you can see I pulled out all the asparagus fronds today because I do expect them to start sprouting food pretty soon. This is Purple Wonder, I think was the variety, or something like that. I got them cheap from Walmart about 14 years ago as bare roots in a bag. They were about dead, but they did great. Something that is interesting about them is that the male variety lives, 30, 40 years. The female will live about 5 years and then die. So, one of those good to know kind of things. So, normally I'm pretty wasteful with a lot of the material that my garden puts out, honestly. And recent events have been a bit of a wake-up call for that, but also in a way it's really good that I haven't been anyway, fully relying on all of the product that my garden produces. I don't have the infrastructure to process all the product that my garden produces. For a long time, I found it quite fascinating how so many gardeners, they say they're sustainable gardening, but then they truck in loads and loads of soil and compost instead of making their own. Now I have a little bit of a splinter. There, I got it. And, I'm looking at I might not be able to get the wood chips that I was hoping for because of, kind of infrastructure falling apart right now with the virus rolling through. Being in Pittsburgh, we did just shut down. I'll be home a lot, though. So I have time to do things that I don't usually have the energy for, like cut down by hand into pieces the output from the asparagus fronds. I had been thinking about throwing away that blue bin, but I'm going to have to wait until I have enough willow material to make a replacement, because the plastic is breaking down, but it's still, I need it, you know what I mean? Yeah, so that's a thing. Garden's looking really good. I've been wanting to dig out all of these daylilies, and they're food, so that's probably something I'm going to do really soon, and probably do a video on it too. They're really quite delicious. Every part of them is. They're actually a cultivated crop in the Asiatic continent, which is nice. It's not just like a random, wild food. It's just like an escaped farmland food product that the new culture doesn't understand the intention of. Again, daylilies. Those are the ones that the base looks like grass. not standard lilies where there's like a stalk that have distinct leaves coming off of it. Those are usually toxic. You can see I have my rhubarb coming up, so that one's getting close to being ready. And again, I can tell when the leaves are ready by when they get flattened and smoothed. Probably want to bring over my one trash can of compost and dump it somewhere around here, I guess. And yeah, so the wood chips might not come, so I need to salvage a lot of the material that I usually just let go to waste. Like, I'd be waiting, I'd leave a huge annoying pile for like a month until all of the beneficial insect eggs will have hatched out of it, and then I would be dragging that to the fire pit and burning it because I usually can't be bothered. But this time of year, it's a lot of work, but I suddenly have a lot more time. The lab I work for shut down, so I have a part-time job at best right now. I am getting paid, I'm a spoiled brat. It's wonderful. I'm really happy with how this is going right now, honestly. I get to be safe. I get to be fed. I get to be supported and stable. I'm really, really, really lucky in this situation, so don't nobody worry about me. I did get to restock the pantry, but it wouldn't have mattered if I didn't. I got a full freezer, and it's getting to be food season real soon, so even if I burned through, I would be bored. Food-wise, I'd be bored, but even if I burned through everything in the freezer right away, these are like French fries, the roots underneath, and then the sauteed greens. I'd be eating French fries like crazy. I didn't bother getting hardly any condiments, but, I've been fermenting things like crazy, and I'm using those as my condiments. And these are things I've been doing anyway, so it's not that I'm doing something different, something special, because there's a crisis. I'm just doing more of what I usually do. Because, as you can see, I've been saving these sticks for a very long time. And now they're going to be probably mulch. I really do think it would be a good idea for me eventually to get a wood chipper, because then I wouldn't waste all of this. I would actually process it. And I had been looking at those and just decided that it wasn't an expense that was at the top of my list. But I think now it might start to get a little higher. I'd like an electric one, honestly. I also might put in a cold cellar. I am definitely using some of my scrap lumber and going to be building a quail hutch, because I've been wanting to start quail, and if it turns out that I actually need to, incubate eggs and everything, I got the time to do it now. Look, these ones up here are cute too. Those ones are orange in the middle. So these are all staggered blooms, and each row, when you pull out the pot, the bulbs are all right around it. You can pull them off, and so in the fall it's really easy to create daffodil mixes. And I really like that. It's very nice having all of these right here. There's some of the earlier ones, but they're not the earliest. About to find out what's in this row, because I forgot. Here goes a train, so that's part of what that sound is. There's still some highway traffic down there, but not near as much. So the noise factor is probably less overall, except for the fact that the train happens to be here right now. So, yeah, it's going to be an interesting time for a while, I'd say. Got another great big crocus coming up over here. Right up out of my so-called lawn. That's good. I did plant them around the fire pit, but I'm not sure that was actually a good idea, because I walk so much I end up trampling them a bit.